For nearly 50 years, Voyager 2 has been drifting farther and farther away from Earth, journeying beyond the influence of our Sun and the boundaries of known science. Originally, it was never designed to last this long, yet, against all odds, it continues to send faint signals from the vast emptiness of space. Recently, however, one transmission stood out. It was different, so different that when NASA decoded it, it didn't just raise eyebrows. It sent shockwaves through the scientific community. What Voyager 2 found was thought to be impossible, a signature no one had anticipated, a discovery that challenges the very foundations of our understanding. What exactly did it detect? Why does it contradict everything we believed about the edge of the solar system? And why are scientists calling it the most haunting discovery ever made in space? Voyager 2's very existence is improbable. Its journey became possible only because of a rare planetary alignment that occurs once every 176 years. In this celestial configuration, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune were aligned like pearls strung along an invisible arc. In the 1960s, a part-time NASA employee charted these orbital positions by hand, using only a pencil. This discovery enabled engineers to use each planet's gravity as a slingshot, accelerating the spacecraft toward the edge of the solar system farther than any object humanity had ever launched. Voyager 2 was built with a mere 69 kilobytes of memory, less than what powers the key fob for a modern car, and it transmits data using the same energy as a refrigerator light bulb. It was never intended to enter interstellar space, yet, 46 years later, it remains billions of miles from Earth, still whispering through the cosmic void. And now, it has whispered something very strange. In 2018, Voyager 2 crossed the heliopause, the boundary where the Sun's solar wind gives way to the pressures of interstellar space, following in the path of its twin, Voyager 1, which crossed. In 2012, scientists had predicted specific changes as the spacecraft passed through this region: shifts in radiation levels, alterations in magnetic fields, and a new pattern in plasma flows. While Voyager 2 did detect a dramatic increase in plasma density, clear evidence that it had reached interstellar space, the expected shift in magnetic orientation never occurred. Just like Voyager 1, the magnetic field remained unchanged. It was as though the spacecraft had stepped into a completely different room only to find the walls painted exactly the same. According to the laws of physics, that shouldn't happen unless our understanding of the room itself is flawed. For decades, we believed the heliosphere, the magnetic bubble created by the Sun, ended with a distinct boundary, like a protective shell separating our solar system from the rest of the galaxy. But Voyager 2's findings suggest otherwise. The edge is not a neat border. It's a chaotic, fluctuating frontier filled with contradictions and anomalies. Instead of silence beyond the Sun's reach, Voyager 2 found turbulent fluctuations, ghost-like pulses of cosmic rays, and plasma behavior that does not conform to the Sun's known 11-year cycle. It's as if the spacecraft had entered a liminal zone, a magnetic twilight realm. And then came the truly impossible discovery. Voyager 2's instruments detected a region where plasma was stable, galactic radiation was increasing, yet the magnetic field showed no corresponding change. According to everything we know, this shouldn't be possible unless something is interfering with our physics, something larger than we've ever imagined, something we're only beginning to comprehend. What makes this all the more astonishing is how Voyager 2 managed to detect it, operating on 50-year-old technology, with no artificial intelligence and powered by heat from decaying plutonium that loses 4 watts of energy per year. The spacecraft continues to function in temperatures it was never built to endure. NASA engineers had already turned off several systems, including the heater for the cosmic ray detector, assuming it would freeze and fail. Miraculously, it kept working, far beyond its thermal design. It's almost as if the machine refused to die until it had delivered one final truth. Only 5 instruments remain operational, and by 2030, that number may drop to 0. But before that happens, Voyager 2 has made a discovery so anomalous, so precisely incorrect according to traditional physics, that it may force us to rewrite what we thought we knew about the solar system's outer limits, because it turns out, the edge isn't the end and what lies beyond is still speaking to us. Before Voyager's journey, we believed the heliosphere resembled a teardrop, trailing behind the sun like a comet's tail. But Voyager 2 is painting a radically different picture, a distorted, chaotic boundary that fluctuates unpredictably and may not even be shaped by the sun at all. Rather than a clean division between solar and interstellar space, the spacecraft has encountered zones of overlapping magnetic interference, sudden plasma pressure spikes, and erratic surges in radiation. These phenomena were never predicted. They don't fit any existing models. It's like trying to define the shape of a cloud using a ruler. Some physicists now suspect the heliosphere is being twisted and reshaped by galactic magnetic forces bent and compressed by interstellar winds we've never directly observed. Voyager 2, from over 12 billion miles away, is sending back data that suggests our sun's influence may be weaker than we believed. And that revelation isn't just surprising, it's potentially threatening. As Voyager 2 travels further from the sun's protective reach, a chilling truth becomes clear. Space is far more violent than we ever imagined. Galactic cosmic rays, subatomic shrapnel born from ancient supernovae, now bombard the spacecraft without being filtered by the heliosphere. The data shows not only that the radiation is stronger, but that it is structured, periodic, patterned. These pulses might hint at interactions with previously unseen interstellar structures, perhaps dense plasma clouds, or even the remnants of collapsed stars, silently drifting through space. And this raises a terrifying question. If even Voyager's radiation-hardened instruments are struggling to survive, what chance would human life have in such an environment? These cosmic rays can slice through metal, destroy DNA, and disable electronics. Voyager 2, impressing further, is revealing how fragile we truly are against the raw forces of the galaxy. Each Voyager spacecraft carries a golden record, a 12-inch gold-plated disc inscribed with music, images, and greetings in 55 languages, often referred to as Earth's mixtape or our last letter to the universe. These records are more than symbolic. They are our only tangible effort to communicate with something unknown. The records contain songs by Chuck Berry and Beethoven, images of children and animals, scientific diagrams, and a message from President Jimmy Carter that reads, "This record represents our hope and our determination and our goodwill in a vast and awesome universe." Consider this: Voyager 2 has carried that message farther than any human-made object in history. If anything or anyone is out there, it won't hear our warnings or our military broadcasts. It will hear music, laughter, the echo of home. In its most recent transmission, Voyager 2 detected something that simply should not exist. NASA hasn't released the full details publicly, but internal leaks suggest a spike in frequency was picked up by one of the spacecraft's low-band instruments. It was a brief, repeating signal lasting only 2.4 seconds. It wasn't cosmic noise or plasma interference. According to those with knowledge of the data, it was mathematically consistent to organize to be random. It didn't match any known solar or galactic source, and then it vanished. The official explanation: a glitch, an anomaly, a malfunction in aging equipment. But off the record, some NASA engineers are unconvinced. One reportedly said, "It looked intentional, not intelligent, but deliberate. Like something meant to be noticed." Whatever it was, it hasn't repeated. But the fact that it happened once, was recorded, archived, and confirmed has changed everything. Because if Voyager 2, with its fading circuits and waning power, can still detect something that defies every rule we thought governed deep space, what else have we missed simply because we weren't listening? Voyager 2 is more than a machine. It is a mirror launched not to reflect us back at ourselves, but to remind us of what it means to push beyond our limits. Its very creation was improbable, built by hand, coded in assembly language, and operated by teams who have long since retired or passed away. And yet it endures not because it was flawless, but because it was human. It symbolizes a time when we explored not for profit, not for conquest, but for curiosity, for the sheer thrill of asking the questions no one else dared ask. And now, more than 4 decades later, Voyager 2 continues asking those questions from a place no human has ever seen. It is transmitting the conditions of interstellar space, the music of plasma, the whisper of ancient starlight, not because we ordered it to, but because it still can. In doing so, Voyager 2 reminds us of something we often forget in our distracted, instantaneous world, that the universe doesn't need to shout to be profound, that the greatest truths sometimes arrive not as explosions, but as echoes, and that the faintest signal, from the farthest corner of space, can reveal more about who we are than all the noise we create here on Earth. Voyager isn't just teaching us about space, it's teaching us about ourselves, what we've done, what we've left behind, and perhaps what we still have time to become.